YouTube. Well, it's funny I find you here late at night. I have my glasses on and there's no one else around besides you and I. But hey, I wanted you to know this video is going to be really cool. We're talking about statistics, right? We're talking about, hey, how do we bring people to a main broadcast? If you guys didn't know, I'm Grandmaster Gojj. You came to my YouTube channel, you found yourself here, and I'm a caster for Warzone tournaments, and really my passion is commentating. And so really this whole conversation that we're having in this video and the video prior and the next video are about Warzone tournaments and how to put on good tournaments. But this really applies for all of esports tournaments. Leave a comment down below if you like these types of videos. I'm going to be talking a lot more about this stuff in the future. I've really enjoyed this, and we got a hot video coming to you shortly, so make sure you subscribe as well. Appreciate you. I'll see you very soon. The next piece is this. It's like, hey, what can we do right now, and why are we wasting money? All right, we're going to talk about hard versus soft impressions. We've talked about this before. I'm not going to harp on this for a really long time. There's two different really ways for people to get their money's worth in a Warzone tournament, and it's very difficult to do, especially if you're trying to market on the main broadcast, of course, because, again, no one watches the main broadcast. People that actually do are not clicking anything, blah, blah, blah. The only way to get value out of a Warzone tournament is this number. Peak viewers, average viewers, these numbers are not coming from main broadcast. They're coming from the individual streamers. And so how do you get value from a Warzone tournament that is providing 220, a quarter million peak viewers? Oh, it's pretty simple. Marketing for events / your dollars having any sort of return has, and I'm going to asterisk this as well to emphasize it, has to be soft impressions. Soft impressions are, this is I'll do kind of a definition for you. Soft impressions are essentially brand recognition, logo recognition. This would be people recognizing your brand to be associated with esports, right? You're trying to associate it with a certain category, right? This would also just be like brand recognition, logo recognition. People recognize your brand. Brand recognition also is just like seeing. This is the big point: seeing your name. Right? That's what soft impressions are. There's nothing to click. There's nothing that's going to take you anywhere. You're not clicking a link, trying to sell a product. All you're trying to do is get recognition for your brand, your logo, or associating your brand with esports in some way. This is seeing your name. Now, why can you only get soft impressions? I think you're putting together the pieces without me having to spell it out for you. 227 peak viewers over the course of the entire tournament on the streamer's platform, not the main broadcast. Well, what do? Oh, pay for the title of the tourney. Woo, yay. This also should come with, if they're doing tournaments correctly, right? If they're doing tournaments correctly, should come with commands in chat that theoretically can provide hard impressions, which would be links, etc., right? Now, the amount of people that clicking those links is basically zero, but regardless, pay for the title of the tournament. If you want your money's worth in a Warzone tournament, you got to pay for the title, okay? Z-Laner basically got promo for himself during this event. A lot of people that maybe tuned into, if you don't know Z from watching Doc, you probably do, but if you don't, some people don't. You watch the tournament, you see Doc playing, and he's playing with Z-Laner. You see Aiden playing, and it says Z-Laner's certified banger, like, who's Z-Laner? You can look him up, blah, blah, blah. It's like brand recognition for himself almost. And Facebook probably put a lot of that money into it. I'm assuming Facebook was the one that was paying most of that prize pool in order to push their streamer, aka Z-Laner, because he streams on Facebook, aka why the main broadcast was on facebook.com/gaming, right? But you got to pay for the title. If you're gonna get any sort of payback for your investment, you got to pay for the title. If you don't pay for the title and you're only paying for your logo to be on the main broadcast or your logo to be on the leaderboard or something like that, you're really not getting any money out of this. The ROI that you're trying to get, you're not gonna be able to track it at all because hard impressions are basically zero in any Warzone event. And second of all, if you're only putting your logo on the main broadcast, we already talked about this issue. They're going to make you pay out the butt for that because the tournament is so big and you're getting 250,000 peak viewers. But on the main broadcast, you're getting like 500 peak viewers. So the only way you get your money to work for you is if you pay for the title. There's a couple other ways around this. One of the ways I've seen people get around this and get more kind of payback for their investment is, or ROI and soft impressions, is your leaderboard. Let's say it's a Jacklinks tourney, right? Your leaderboard is on jacklinks.com/gaming, right? They have their own web page under their brand that has the leaderboard on it, and any link that you click on Jacklinks website will take you to their main, page where you can buy Jacklinks, right? Not only their Jacklinks, to be clear, was doing this brand recognition. They don't necessarily need, but they want their brand to be recognized, to be associated with esports. That's why they did it, and they're going to continue doing it. They're also partnered with Envy, so it's probably a part of their contract already. But that's another way to do it, is actually put the leaderboard that everybody wants on the sponsor's website. That's a great idea. You have to have the server capacity to be able to do that, especially for these big tourneys. Let's just say we sent the leaderboard out to everybody competing in this event, and 227,000, 250,000 people were all trying to click your link at the same time. You better be Jacklink, so you're gonna have a server crash. Even then, you probably still will have a server crash. So usually that's why the leaderboard is kind of held close, because those things crash so quickly. It's insane. This is where you really have to spend your money right now, because the main broadcast provides zero value to your brand as well as for your casters. This is the unfortunate thing for my profession. People that are paying me to do the main broadcast aren't really getting their money's worth out of me, to be honest. I think they're paying me, they're almost underpaying me with the amount of value that I can provide in theory, but the amount of value I'm able to provide based on the product that we have right now, it's pretty limited, which is super frustrating. And this goes back to my original Twitter thread. The main reason we have so many $1,000 to $5,000 events in the Warzone tournament scene is because nobody's willing to pay 20,000 plus, or not, no one. Activision is, but unless you have Activision backing or some big massive funding action, $1,000 to $5,000 tournaments, most people can still make that through soft impressions, and they believe it's going to get them somewhere. But they have to do it correctly. The last point of the day, if you are a small tourney organizer, and I'm going to qualify anything from $1,000 to $5,000, here is what you need to do to maximize your ROI. Remember, this is soft impressions. Okay, here you go. How do you maximize it? Number one, sell your title to a brand or yourself and force all streamers participating to have this title. This should be strict. You can't say, oh, if you want to, you have to force these people. If you do not force them to make their title, $5,000 Grandmaster Gojj.Twitch TV. No, I'm not going to do that. But Grandmaster Gojj or $5,000 Gnosis, exclamation point Gnosis in the chat. Check it out. They're incredible. So much better than all of their competitors. I'm not even going to mention the names. $5,000 Gnosis tournament. This will bring you brand recognition for your sponsors. This will bring you some soft impressions because Aiden's going to be playing in your tournament for $5,000. We talked about this earlier, why he plays for $5,000, because he likes content and he likes competing. His content is competing. He's going to compete whenever he can. It's more valuable for him to play in tournaments in terms of subs and viewers and all of that stuff, especially in the $1,000 to $5,000 range, than actually win the prize money. And he just likes it, right? They're competitors at heart. So here you go. Take your notes if you're a small tournament organizer. Sell your title to a brand or yourself and force all streamers participating to have this title. If they have a brand sponsorship with G Fuel or something like that, unless they're Aiden or somebody massive, you probably just don't want to let them play in your tournament. I mean, it's almost not worth having a streamer that is going to play in your tournament and not have your title in there if they have like a brand sponsorship with a competitor, to be honest with you. Now, number two, you've sold your title or you have everybody having their title. Now you need a command, right? Now, there's two different ways to go about this. If you are a streamer and you're trying to get people to watch your broadcast because you're trying to commentate or something, and you want people to come into your stream because you usually don't have enough people in there, you want to direct everybody to your stream or the main broadcast as much as you can. So you want to force all streamers to have their leaderboard command send their people to the main broadcast. Okay, so this would be like exclamation point leaderboard. The $5,000 Gnosis event leaderboard is hosted on the main broadcast at twitch.tv/Grandmaster Gojj. Go there for all details. Blah blah blah. Then everybody's gonna come into your stream and they're gonna go exclamation point leaderboard. But you're gonna have viewers and you're gonna have people there. You can provide the leaderboard there. I'll just do this. You need to force people to have commands in their chat, and you can do this by just saying in the Discord, do it. Okay, it's really simple. This is going to actually direct people. The problem with our Boom TV event was they didn't remember. We talked about Boom right here. We talked about Boom. We had 180 viewers, even though I had the biggest streamers on the platform, because they did not direct anybody in commands or title to a main broadcast. Okay? Force, require. Yeah, you're right. I appreciate that, chat. Require is better. I agree. Require or they can't play. And it's really, they're gonna like they're gonna do it. No one cares, right? Unless they have a competitor with your sponsor, they're gonna do it. No one cares. Now here's where the next piece comes in. Leaderboard. What should this look like? And this is totally up to you, but if you want the most ROI where you're actually selling sponsorship spots, this is what I did when I was growing and making my own tournaments. Your leaderboard should be a page that people can view, and you need to figure that out somehow. The best way to do it, to be honest, so you don't have to worry about server issues, is honestly just make it a Google Sheet. I bet I have one I can show you guys, actually. Queens of Verdansk. Hey, here we go. Look at this. Just use a Google Sheet. You can make it, try to make it look good. Like, this doesn't look great, but it looks not too bad. We had the logo up above. We had the name, blah, blah, blah. Right, we had some rule sets over here. Like, you can set this up. And this is where we had some brand recognition right here. Put some logos on your Google Sheet. This is a pretty, like, basic form. You can make it look a little bit better, right? I zoomed in for you all. Make it look a little bit better. You have the caster link here. You got some point totals. You got a brand logo here. We sold this spot on the leaderboard because we had projected numbers of like the amount of people that will have this Google Sheet and be looking at this Google Sheet is somewhere around like 5,000 people. So you can sell this spot for probably pretty cheap for brands that maybe are not paying for the, oh, they actually did pay for the title here, VGN. But if they're not paying for the title, you could sell some spots on the leaderboard, theoretically. Just small spaces. Like, if you're doing, like, a $5,000 tournament, you're not selling this spot on the leaderboard for more than $500, probably. Unless they're just idiots, which you don't want to take advantage of people. So, leaderboard, sell sponsor spots. Maybe even if there's only one main sponsor, should have a spot on there. With links, honestly. Again, we put the main broadcast because it was all streamed from my page and I was getting, promo from this tourney. Main broadcast right here. Click this link. You go straight to my page. The reason we say to use Google Sheets is if you use a website, remember, with all the biggest streamers in the game, your website's going to crash. 1,000%. Right? But if you use Google Sheets, it'll basically just say server overloaded, and anybody that's in there continues to look at it because Google Sheets servers is run by Google, not you. So there you go. So yeah, this is like a very basic tournament. It's like $2,000. Again, you could do this for your own tournament. That's where you're going to get some ROI. Perfect. Leaderboard, sell sponsor shops, main sponsor spot with links, and clearly define rules, formats. Okay. And that's pretty much it. That's how you're going to get some value for your small tourneys. Do these things right, and your sponsors will actually be happy with their brand recognition if you can provide this type of value. If you can provide data, I guess I'll put that on the sheet. Collect data somehow. Okay, you can do this via Twitch. You can do this via wherever. Collect your data for the event day, so that you can show your sponsors, hey, this is the amount of soft impressions you got. Again, you need to emphasize to your sponsors, this is what you're trying to do with this tournament. You're not trying to net them a bunch of sales. They're not going to click a lot of links. People are not going to look at your link and say, hey, we need to sell this product. Nobody's doing that. But if you can do it for soft impressions and the sponsor recognizes that, I think you're going to get a pretty solid amount of ROI from that event. Cool. Sweet. Okay, and there's a lot of other things. Obviously, I think you can do this pretty well. We'll do a little 5-piece. Your main broadcast can have overlays with logos, etc. You can do caster spots on ads, or caster ad spots, so I'll just say it like that. All that stuff. But again, the issue here is that main broadcast is hardly watched. Boom. Hopefully it was valuable to some people, and this is something that you guys will go back and say, hey, this makes a lot of sense and this is something we want. And if you don't understand any of this and you just enjoyed me talking, well, then you're the best.